All right, Mentorship Masters members, welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope you guys like my pink. I decided to dress down for you guys a little bit today. Not as spiffy as I usually am, but it's okay. We're going to learn some great stuff together. Hopefully, you guys have been doing awesome since the last time we had the chance to sit down together. I know some of you guys aren't doing awesome. Some of y'all are doing like super duper awesome. Some of you guys are not. And so we're going to get into that. We're going to talk about that today. I'm going to answer your questions, and I'm going to walk you through a couple of new exciting things that we've got going on. So let me share my screen with you. Let's see here. Share. Okay, let's see here. Okay, here we go. All right, let me go into my PowerPoint, and I might have to do a different kind of share later, but I want to kind of walk you guys through a couple of things to inspire you. I'm all about inspiring you to your ultimate greatness. That's what I believe it's all about. But I also want to get to your questions. I know you guys sometimes like to hear me talk or speechify, if you will. But just know this, whenever I'm talking to you, I'm actually talking to myself. You know, I've been in the personal development space for going on 30 years. I've been personally working on me for all that time. So if I say something to you that might sound a little bit harsh, don't take it that way. And I know this is family, so I know I never have to apologize to you guys. Oh, by the way, I wanted to share something with you. Y'all know how excited I get kind of giddy when I get new toys. So I want to show you a couple of new toys that I got before we get started. I just got this new microphone. And if you guys are interested in, you know, I do a lot of video. You've probably seen a lot of my newer videos coming across, you know, YouTube and stuff. And I got this new microphone that plugs right into my smartphone. So if you can see it there, it's like 200 bucks. This is what the most important thing about video is. Okay, write this down. The most important thing about video is audio. Okay, you can have a super duper gorgeous video and have terrible audio, and nobody will listen to it. And you can have a crappy video but have great audio. People listen to it all day. By the way, the statistics are out, and people aren't going for the glitzy, glamorous video anymore. They like it to be raw, rugged, and they feel like it looks more. It looks more authentic, if you will. And then I got one other thing I want to show you. And somebody at our shareholder summit for EXP had one of these. Have you guys seen this before? Y'all even know what this is? It's a ring light. Yeah, some of y'all know. I'm getting some chat. Let me open my chat box here. Oh, what's the brand of microphone? I'm going to post it. It says it's a Shure microphone, but I'm going to post to our group the exact one that I got on Amazon, so you can. But it plugs. If you have an iPhone, you know, it plugs right into the iPhone. Let me just show you how that works. I mean, my commitment to you guys is to teach you everything that I'm doing and everything that I know. And I don't want you to get into overwhelm, but I do want to teach you everything that I know, so that you become greater things than I do. You do, right? So this is how it looks when it's on your microphone, and this actually connects to. If I can show you this, I have like a little sort of a tripod stick that can go down on a table and hold it up, and then this. And by the way, I have like a little film bag. I carry this everywhere I go, so I can quickly put this together in front of a client and get a testimonial if I need one. Just going to screw this together like that, and then I take my phone and I clip it in here like this, And then this is more or less like in selfie mode, if you will. But that's how it looks, okay? It looks just like if I'm doing video and I've got my microphone there. And then this little ring light slips right on. Let me see if you can see this. Slips right on like that. And then it'll light you up. See that? So that way, especially with me, a lot of times when I'm doing video, it's hard to shoot with my hat on because there's a lot of shadowing there. And I've got the dark skin already. So it's a little challenging, but with this ring light, it really has upped my game. And by the way, this thing is only like, I think this ring light is like $12. So this is gonna really come in handy for you guys. I'll put up the whole rig out on, what's this you got me? A tea?
Alfalfa grass powder with coconut powder.
Oh, my wife just brought me an alfalfa and coconut drink here. So I'm gonna try that. Oh, that's good. It's tasty. All right, so video, I want you guys doing more video because video is gonna help you succeed like nothing else in this era, okay? So this is a super easy setup. This is like $12. The mic, I think it was $200. Might have been $100. I'm not sure. But I'll post both of those there to you. All right. So somebody says, hi, Josie. She already left. So she takes good care of me, guys. Okay, so let's get into what we're getting into here. So here's the question that I have for you. Is it time to change your why? Is it time to change your why? Why do I say that? Well, I've got several of you that have come to me in this, and I always say, what's your big why? Why do you want to be successful? Why do you want to succeed? Why do you want to hit those high levels of success? And you guys tell me, like, it might be your children, or it might be, your grandchildren, or it might be something personal, right? There's some reason. Now, if I don't see you succeeding at the level that I know you should be, then the question I'm going to ask you, and there's no judgment in this, guys. Remember, there's no judgment. But the question I'm going to have to ask you is it time to change your why? Because if you're not hitting the number, you come to me and you're doing 2 deals a month, you want to take it to 4 or 5 deals a month, okay? But now, hold on, somebody's, okay. Oh, I got the keys in my hand now. I can start muting you guys. I'm muting people. All right. Yeah, just remember to mute yourself. I'm going to try to, in the future, I'll make it to where when you enter our call together, you'll be automatically muted, so you don't have to remember to do it. Because when there's hundreds of you guys on the, in the future, on future pacing, it'd be hard to kind of try to mute you guys all. And there probably is a mute all feature. I'm going to have to get Patty Lynn in here as a coordinator of this thing. So the question is it time to change your why? If you come to me and you say, Knolly, my why is my grandkids, okay? I say, okay, you're doing 2 deals a month now. You want to take that to 20 deals a month. Is that right? Yeah, or maybe not 20 deals a month, but you want to take it to 5 deals a month, okay? You want to double your production. You want to triple your production. You're doing 2, you want to take it to 6, okay? By the way, everything that I'm teaching you guys, as whether it be in the members area, the videos, trainings that I do, it's all geared around one simple idea and one concept. And I want you to understand this: 10 listings a month. 10 listings a month. For 2 years, I taught a class called 10 listings a month. And the concepts that you're learning with what I'm teaching you guys here is the same stuff that I taught in 10 listings a month. It's just that I brought our goals down to where they're more graspable for more people, okay? More of you are able to actually grasp the goal, if you will, when I bring it down to like 2 or 3 deals a month. But the same principles will apply whether you're doing 2 deals a month, 10 deals a month, or 30 deals a month, okay? It doesn't matter. So the question is, if you come to me and you say, and you're doing 2 deals and I'm getting you, I want to take you to 6 deals, okay? And you're not hitting your numbers, the question that I'm wondering is it time for you to change your why? And that's okay. It's no problem, okay? You can change your why from time to time. Maybe your grandkids is not a big enough why for you. Maybe your children is not a big enough why for you. Maybe your family is not a big enough why for you. Okay, think about that for a minute. Maybe they're just not. Because here's what I know to be true. Okay, when your why, when your why becomes bigger, or when your why is bigger than your excuses, you'll make the call. Okay, you'll do the work. You'll do what needs to be done to succeed. When your why is bigger than your excuses, you'll make the call. I got to tell you, in my own life, when I was 33 years old, when I was 29, I made my first $1 million. 29 years old, and I made that handily in that 1 year. I got a check for $650,000, and I made the rest up through sales that I had. And so I became a millionaire at age 29. And by the time I was 33, I was broke. I lost everything. And when I got into real estate, it was do or die. Okay. Succeed or die trying. You know? And I succeeded in the game. I took over 10 listings a month for over 10 years in a row. Okay. That's how I know it can be done. And I do not have the profile of a successful real estate agent. I just don't, okay? One of these days, I think I have it here handy somewhere. I'm gonna actually show you guys the results of every single test that I've taken for my aptitude toward being a realtor. It's like, dude, you'll never succeed at this, ever, okay? And so my aptitude for success, when you look at the DISC profile, is much lower than any of the profiles I've seen of any of you guys, okay? Yet I'm succeeding. And why am I succeeding? Why have I succeeded in the craft? It's because my why was bigger than my excuses, period, okay? Now, there are gonna be some of you that are like, man, Knolly, I don't feel like I'm really making excuses, man. I feel like I'm doing everything that I can do. And so I wanna address that as well, because I wanna be fair to everyone. I wanna do a little bit of recap, because it really pays for us to go over some of the key concepts that we're learning here as masters. Your key to success, guys, is going to be time blocking, 2 to 3 hours every single day. If you do what I tell you to do, this is not arrogant or cocky, because I've seen it over and over with my students becoming, doing far better production than I've ever done. If you do the work that I tell you to do, and you say the things that I tell you to say, you read the books I tell you to read, and apply the principles, you will succeed. You can't fail. It's impossible to fail. Some of you have moved on and on, from one thing to another until you've ended up in Mentorship Masters. And what I want to tell you is the buck stops right here. Now that you're a master, you can finally become successful. And you don't have to look anywhere else, because we have a holistic approach to your success. So 2 to 3 hours every single day. Make sure that you've got the book, Triple My Listings. If you don't already have it, you should have already gotten a copy of it in the mail. By the way, welcome to our new members. Welcome to Mentorship Masters. We love having you. You, as a member, you're going to get this in the mail. When you sit down in your lead generation bunker, as we call it, all you got to do is pick the ones that resonate with you. There's 27 ideas here for free seller leads, and you work on that about 2 hours a day, 2 to 3 hours a day. I've had some of you come to me and say, man, Knolly, I'm going to do 8 hours a day. I don't recommend it. I mean, have you ever heard of burnout? You can success. Let me tell you this. Success can lead to burnout, okay? Because really, truthfully, this is what success is. I want you to write this down. Okay, get ready to take a note on this. Those of you that, if you're driving, don't write this down. But if you're not driving, I want you to write this down. Here's what success is, guys. Success is doing the same thing over and over again and getting the same result, okay? Real similar to insanity. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result, okay? But this is what we call, you nail it and scale it. You nail it and scale it, okay? What does that mean? That means first you become successful, you succeed, and then you scale it, you make it bigger. First you consistently take 2 listings a month or 3 listings a month, and then let's get you to 10 a month, okay? You nail it first, and then you scale it, okay? Now, we have a thing that we call do the 2, That's if you spend your 2 hours a day, okay, generating at least 1 or 2 appointments. I say 2 appointments a week. That should lead to at least a minimum of 2 closings a month. Okay. It's called do the 2. 2 hours a day in your lead generation bunker, Monday through Thursday. It's a 2x4, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. 2 hours a day should lead to 2 appointments a week, which should lead to a minimum of 2 closings a month. Okay. If you're doing 2 closings a month, guess what? You're in my 6-figure club. and guess what? When you're successful in real estate, it's fun. It's fun. When you're not successful, it ain't no fun, guys. These are the things that I'm going to recap that'll keep you back: fear, doubt, worry, and ignorance. Okay. You never have to worry about ignorance, guys, because ignorance is just not knowing something. And you're always going to be in the know because you're in mentorship master. You're a master. Okay. But you do have to worry about fear, doubt, or you do have to not worry about it. I shouldn't say you have to be mindful of fear, doubt, and worry, because those are the things that will eradicate and undermine your success every single time. There are, guys, we talked about this, there's going to be blocks to your success. And how do you clear those blocks to your success? If you're doing everything that you know you should be doing and you're not getting results, you're not closing 2 deals a month. Okay. It's just like somebody comes to me and they say, hey, Knolly, I want to lose weight. Okay, well, great. My wife and I lost 100 pounds 20 years ago. Josie and I lost 100 pounds. I lost 50. She lost 50. We know how to lose. We know the secret of losing weight. It's not a mystery to us. So we'll tell you, okay, here's what you need to do. Now, if you come back in a month and you're not losing weight, I'm looking at you like with one eye open, right? Like Popeye. Because there's something, you're either not doing something right or you're doing something wrong. Okay, it's probably the same thing. There's just some step, and I'm like, okay, are you following the meal plan? Yeah, Knolly, I'm following the meal plan. Are you doing the exercise plan? Yeah, I'm doing the exercise plan. Now, I'm either not going to believe you or I'm going to say you have a block. Okay, some of you have success blocks, and honestly, they're real hard to, you might have a block that occurred when you were 13 years old. It might have been when you were 6, okay? And it's a subconscious block that you have no idea what it is. I can drill you from here to kingdom come. You can go into 20 years of coaching and you can even go into, my mom was a psychologist, okay? You can go into psychologist after psychologist and never figure out what your blocks are. And so we have people, specialists, like I've got a good friend, Artemis, who will sit down with you and help you clear those blocks. But I got to tell you guys, most of your blocks can be cleared if you read the material I tell you to read and do the stuff I tell you to do. But some of you are going to be stuck that way to where you just need professional help. I got to tell you, and there's nothing wrong with it because I definitely needed it. I was abused as a child and I needed professional help. And so Artemis really helped me in a way that no psychologist or a person like that can. He's guided by the Holy Spirit. He's able to see into you, and he's able to work directly with you to clear the blocks. So if some of you guys may need that, and I'll get you guys his information as well. But do all the other work first, because when you start hiring somebody like that, then you're starting to pay money. And I like you guys to be doing most of this stuff at low to no cost. I like the word free. Remember that we're following a paradigm that no one else follows in the coaching and training industry that I know of, especially not in the real estate space. And we believe at Mentorship Masters that we are holistic beings, as the Bible teaches. This is Christ-centered training that you guys are getting, and we follow this. So it's mindset, activities, people, systems, tools, money, accountability, and training. I want you to have mastery in all 8 pillars. And then remember, you've got 4 bodies, guys. You've got a spiritual body, a mental body, a physical body, and then an emotional body. You being at the center of that with God and your purpose being at the center of that, okay? Now, we have what we call accountability partners, and I just printed out a copy of this. This is our accountability partner worksheet that each of you guys should be using every single week, because you do need, I'm here for you guys from a group standpoint, but you guys do need one-on-one coaching, okay? And so I've already taught you how to mentor each other and coach each other Go back and watch that video if you haven't, if you need to brush up on it. But when you're going through, you guys are going to be accountable to each other. You're going to pick an accountability partner. Now, notice I didn't say accountability groups. Some of you guys are putting accountability groups together, and that's okay. I mean, hey, the Bible says where two or more gathered, hey, here I am in my name. Hey, it's okay. So if that works for you, fine. I'm not going to take that away from you. I've always done it partnership. So it's one person to one person. The questions that you ask are, did I meet my goal, exceed my goal, or did I fall short of my goal? Okay, you should be doing this. This should go to your accountability partner. You should be sending this form to your accountability partner every single week, and then following it up with a conversation amongst you guys about, hey, in other words, what you're doing is you're documenting what you do every day. How many hours did you spend in lead generation? Did you meet, exceed, or fall short of whatever goal that you had for that week? Okay, you might have had a goal of making 2 appointments. Okay, because remember, it all boils down to appointments, guys. That's the bottom line. It boils down to appointments. How many appointments you go on determines how much business you're going to have. Remember, if you take care of the front door, the back door takes care of itself. Okay, the front door is appointments. A lot of people are like, well, I'm gonna make a goal of how many closings. That's the wrong goal. All you need to have a goal for is how many appointments you go on, period. Okay. Now, if you suck at going on appointments, if you go on 5 or 4 appointments and you get 2 deals, we got some work to do. Because you're batting 50%. Okay. Right. So we either need to get you a lot more appointments or get your skills up to where you close more of them. Okay. Some of you can go on an appointment, you close at 9 out of 10, and that's where you want to be. Okay. So remember to be using the accountability partner worksheet weekly as well. Remember, all frustration is based on unfulfilled desire. That's Joseph Murphy. All frustration. So if you feel yourself, just check in with your body right now. Take a deep breath and just feel yourself. How do you feel? Do you feel excited? Are you happy? I know some of you guys are just starting the journey with Mentorship Masters, so you're super excited. Some of you guys, okay, aren't really doing the work, and you're not sure why you're not doing the work. You're like, man, why don't I just do my 2 hours a day? You know, there's something holding you back. It might be a block. So how do you feel? Do you feel frustrated, or do you feel at ease? Do you feel in the flow? If you feel frustrated, it's based on unfulfilled desire. There's something within you that knows that you should be doing better. Okay. Now, in Mentorship Masters, we always ask, what's your genius? We need your help. It's not just me, guys. This is a family. Family, look, my wife and I just got done watching The Waltons, and we watched the whole series, okay? You're talking about 9 seasons with 20-some episodes each. We watched the whole thing. So I got this new perspective of what family is all about. And that's what Mentorship Masters is, guys. We're a family, and we all pitch in, and we all help each other. It ain't just, this ain't the Uncle Knolly show. You guys are going to be doing greater things than I've ever done. Remember our books of the month, guys. Don't forget, we've already finished The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. That was our book of the month in the past. That's super important book. If you don't have the details on it, go to our workplace group. We've got all the information on how to get that. The second book of the month was The Secret to Permanent Prosperity. You want to make your prosperity permanent. This is the book that will help you do that. Okay. And that's by Mike Hernacki. And then our new book of the month is this one right here called Letting Go. Letting Go. It's the Pathway of Surrender. I know some of you guys, let me stop my share for a minute. You can see that better. So this was the first one. Okay, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind that we all, and here, I'll share with you the importance of these books in a minute. The Secret to Permanent Prosperity. And then this is the new one that I want you guys to be reading. Now, I'm going to give you a couple months because this is a thick one, y'all. Okay. But this is really going to help you. You talk about having blocks, which I know some of you, every person really does have blocks in their life. Some people have success blocks. Some of you guys have a fear of being successful. Okay. There's a threshold. There's a ceiling that you just never have gone past or gotten beyond. For some people, their threshold is $1 million a year Okay, some people it's 10 million a year. And they just hit that ceiling and they just can't break through. Look, whatever your goal is your goal. You know, I'm not going to tell you what kind of goal to have. So like when I used to teach 10 listings a month, people get overwhelmed. Even though I taught the class for 10 years, for 2 years, and I did it myself for 10 years, personally did it. And then I taught other people how to do it. But even the idea of doing 10 deals a month was something that they could not get their subconscious mind to embrace. So it became easier for them to embrace a lower goal. Trust me, it doesn't matter the goal. The goal, it's not that it's going to become easier for you because you have a lower goal. No, okay? That's just a subconscious thing. You can do 30 deals a month just as easily as you can do 2 deals a month, okay? And you'll spend a lot less time because the more deals you have, guess what you have more of? Money, huh? And money will, see, a lot of people say time is money. That's the wrongest thing you've ever heard. Time is money. Time is not money, okay? Time is time and money's money. You cannot equate money to time, okay? Now, if you want to hire yourself out, you go work at, like I worked for other people until I was 22 years old, never worked for another person after I was 22, but there's nothing wrong with working for others. But when you do that, just realize that you're renting yourself out by the hour, okay? When you work another job for someone else, you're renting yourself out by the hour. And you're saying, hey, a rental of Knolly Williams is worth $15 an hour. That's my rent price for me, okay? Because you're renting yourself out when you do that. When you're self-employed, like each one of us is, you set your own paycheck. And your paycheck, it's like Gary Kelly used to tell me all the time, I can look at your checkbook or look at your income, and I can tell you where your subconscious mind is, okay, based on what you're making. Now, some people are content with making less. Some people have made an art form of living low. and that's okay if that's what you want to do. It's every person should have as scripture says, let each person be thoroughly convinced in his own mind, okay? But if you're not thoroughly convinced, you know you could be doing better, that's what I want to help you with, okay? So Letting Go is going to be our new book. It's going to help you. If you read Letting Go and you still have a lot of these blocks that we're talking about, then it's time, like I said, to seek professional help. And there ain't no shame in it. I mean, God put us here to help each other. That's what we're here for, right? The reason why you don't have all the skills is because nobody succeeds alone, okay? And the biggest trap is to think that you can do it all by yourself, because you cannot. Remember, scripture says in Genesis chapter 1, or Genesis chapter 2, God looked down, he says, it's not good for man to be alone. That's actually what the scripture says. It is not good for man to be alone. And some of you men know what that's about. Your wife knows, hey, it ain't good for him to be alone, right? You know, but God looked down, he said, it is not good for man to be alone. And that's our true state. We cannot accomplish as much individually as we can accomplish as a family, okay? And friends, by the way, are the family you get to pick. So I have a high regard for who I call my friends, and you guys are my friends. So let me share my screen with you again, and let's get back to this, because I want to open it up for more questions. Oh, I'm super excited about the Mentorship Masters portal. Man, I'm super excited about that. Patty Lynn and I got together and we thought this would be a great idea for you guys. And so we put that together for you. So it's just another resource. You can go through here and find master classes, virtual coaching sessions. Every single one of these roundtable meetings is archived there. So it's basically its own little place and space for you to go and just kind of binge out or geek out, if you will. I want to let you guys know about a success strategy that I use, and I think we'll get questions after that. There's a there's a strategy that I use. I'm actually switching gears here, and I'm moving away from the mindset stuff. Oh, before I do that, I'm sorry, I'm bouncing around, guys, because I'm so excited. Let me share one more thing with you guys. So this will kind of make sense for you. Let me see if I have a copy of it handy. Yeah, I do. Hold on one second. All right. So let me share with you guys this. Let me stop this sharing here. Okay. Okay. So this is this is the thing that I train from. I used to call this spiritual business mastery because it's kind of at that level, if you will. But by the way, there's a book for each of these topics. And when you talk about the spiritual side, the book that I recommend for that, like the master book, I have a lot of books that I recommend. I've read thousands and thousands of them. And what I try to do is deduce a lot of the knowledge that I've gained into, I give you guys the cliff notes, the stuff you need to know. Because you can spend 10 lifetimes learning a bunch of this crap, right? And a lot of it doesn't matter. It's not important. So right here, when we talk about the spirit side, the book that I recommend for that and the one that I use is the Bible, okay? Now, when we talk about the mental side, okay, to master that book is called The Power of Your Subconscious Mind, right? That's the reason why I had you guys read this book first, because I want you to kind of conquer that mental body, okay? And these are not once and done books. It's not like, oh, I read the book. No, these are references. These are things that you go back to over and over again. Now, when it comes to the physical body, some of you guys aren't ready for that, but I've got a book for that, okay? It's called the Miracle Detox Source Book. But I'm going to introduce that to you later because, it's the right information in the right order is what leads to success. And then the emotional body is this book right here, okay? If you want to conquer the emotional body, letting go. It's the book for that. So I've got a book for each of these areas and also have books for all of these as well. But again, this is something that's taken me 30 years to master. So I'm giving it to you guys in bite-sized chunks. How do you eat an elephant? How do you eat an elephant, guys? One bite at a time. That's how, and that's what some of this stuff is. So as to not throw you into overwhelm. Okay, so I wanted to share this concept with you called the trial close. And then I'm going to open it up for any questions you guys have after that. I had a guy come to me and he wanted to sell his personal home, okay? Past client of mine, a pastor, not a pastor of my church, but a good friend of mine who's a pastor. His home's maybe worth about $350 maybe. And then he's got his mother-in-law's house that he needs to sell because she just passed away. And that one's worth about $250 as is. And he wants me to sell both houses, okay? And follow the math on this. Sell both houses and then sell them a house for about $400. Okay, so you got the math in your head: 250, 350, 400. We're up about $1 million, right? He texts me. Now you guys know I just got back from Costa Rica. I hope you can admire the tan here that I got here. Y'all know I do tan. Trying to prove it here to you. Well, some of my tan lines are gone, so I'll have to. But I do tan, guys. And I was in Costa Rica, and you know what? I got a text from him. And he says, you know what, Knolly, we're just going to lease the house and we're not going to sell. So you know what I did? Guess what I did when he told me that? Just think about it. Guess what I did? I'm going to think that most of y'all guessed wrong. I just let it go. I was like, cool, man. If it's not good for you to sell, I'm good with that. Now that's a rookie move. Yeah, David said, I said, that's fine. Yeah, that's exactly what I did. I was like, cool, man. If you don't want to sell, I'm good with that. Cause I don't like convincing people of things that if you don't want to do, right? So he texted me this morning and I got to share this with you. Let me see if I can. Okay. I just have my phone here. It is. Let me, so he just texted me this morning and I'm not sure I understand. Yeah. So he just texted me, and let me share with you the text, because this is going to help you guys. This is a great strategy, guys. And I should have done it before, but sometimes, have you ever heard of overtraining? It's a term that boxers use and weightlifters and stuff. You can overtrain, right? Sometimes you get so smart that you become dumb. and I did a dumb thing. I just let it go, right? And that was pretty dumb of me. So he texted me back. He texted me this morning, just out of the blue. And he says, he says, hey, Mr. Knolly, a lady called to see the house and she's a realtor. Should we not show to them the house or is it okay since it isn't on the market yet? She mentioned paying cash for it, but still, I want to make sure. I'm like, why are you, dude, you told me you didn't want to sell. Like, this is the next text that I get. After 2 weeks, he told me he didn't want to sell. It's like somebody called me that's a realtor that wants to go look at that. And I don't even have the listing yet because I just let it, and all the stuff that I teach, I didn't do, right? So I'm like, what do you, so I texted him back. I said, hey there, are you considering selling? If so, it's far better to place the home on the open market as is and get several bids from different buyers. I said, I have a bunch of investors who can pay cash right now. Like if you just want cash, I got them lined up, if that's all you want to do. He says, well, we're still considering both. Okay. And so he texted me some more stuff like that. I said, look, let's reschedule. I said, let's go ahead and reschedule her. He's like, should I reschedule? I'm like, what are you talking about reschedule? So you already scheduled somebody to come look at the house? I don't even have it listed. And she, I'm like, okay, so I said, look, go ahead and reschedule it. And if you're considering selling, maybe we can do a trial listing. Okay, a trial listing. And I explained it to him. I said, that means we place the house on the market for 30 days and see what we get. You don't have to accept any of the offers. Okay. Now, this is something that we used to use a lot. And I forget these tactics, guys, because when you become so seasoned at something, you forget, right? We used to use it a lot with for sale by owners, but we also used to use it a lot when it's a seller's market. So the seller would say something like, "Nah, I don't really want to sell my house. I'm going to just do for sale by owner." And I say, "Okay, well, maybe you'll allow me to do a trial listing." And back then, a couple of years ago, we used to do them. We would do like a listing for 1 week, a 1 week listing. Okay, they're like, "But no, that's crazy." Yeah, we would do a 1 week listing. And the way we would write it up is it would go for a week, okay, or the seller could cancel it anytime after 7 days. But we would write it up maybe like a standard 6-month contract, right? 6-month listing. But we would put in special provisions that they could cancel it anytime after 7 days. Now that sounds ridiculous, but honestly, when they go through the whole idea of putting the house on the market, they just don't take it off. And especially when they start seeing people coming through. So it's a trial listing. And it just gets you to get them to over the hump of wanting to list, right? And so now he's like, man, let's do a trial listing for 30 days, right? I already know I've got another house listed over there, which we sold handily. By the way, when I was in Costa Rica, and whenever I tell you guys stuff, and I know I don't have to repeat this, but it's not bragging, guys. This is the stuff that I'm teaching you to do because I want you to do exactly what I'm doing or better, okay? When I was in Costa Rica, I took 2 brand new listings, put them on MLS from Costa Rica, okay? Got offers on both of them within 2 days, and they're under contract. They're going to close in a couple of weeks, okay? So this is something, real estate is something you can do from anywhere in the world, okay? So with this particular one, it's like, look, I'm going to do a 30-day, we're going to do a trial listing. I'm going to list it for 30. He didn't even know that there was a trial listing. And see, sellers, you got to be thinking about what the sellers, the way they think, okay? In their mind, they're thinking like, man, I got to commit to 6 months. No, let's do it. Now, both of these houses that I just took listings in Costa Rica, they both went under contract within 48 hours, okay? So truthfully, I only needed a 7-day listing for those, Now, you're always going to want to take the listing again for the full term, but then put in special provisions. Seller may cancel at any time after 7 days. So that's something that I think you guys should put in your tool bag, is this whole concept of a trial listing, especially when the market's hot, sellers feel like they can sell it on their own. It's like, hey, let's do a trial listing. And sometimes you can just put it on the market on Thursday, do an open house, a couple of open houses over the weekend, and have it sold by Monday. Done, and you get your full commission, okay? So that's what I want to share with you guys. On the trial listing, David Speedy's asking, how do you handle the cost of photos, video, and et cetera? The way I would do it, I basically pay for it, right? But I charge a $5.95 on every single listing that I take. I've already taught you guys how to do that in a future, in a past, in a future call, I taught you that. In a past deal, I taught you guys exactly how I do that and how we pull it off. What you could do is you could say, look, it's $595. You only pay me at closing. But if you do decide not to go for X term, then you just owe me the $595. Okay, you could do that. Now you got to believe that you can sell the house. Like this guy's house, I'm going to sell it within 2 weeks. I told him a 30-day trial because it sounds nice. You know, we can do a 30-day trial. It has a good ring to it. So he liked the way it sounded. I like saying it. He's going to list it with me. I'm going to have it sold in 2 weeks and get a paycheck. And then guess what's going to happen? Now he's got to sell that other house, and then he's going to buy another house. So we're back to the $1 million in deals, right? Because he only wanted to sell this other house if he could do the other deal and the other deal. So everything's back on, right? So, you know, never give up. Like Tom Hawkins says, they either buy or die. All right. So on the trial, this is being recorded, Darren. So if you need to run off, this is being recorded. Patty already beat me to it. Thanks, Patty. Okay. So are there any questions that you guys have about anything related to success or otherwise? Any questions, comments, or observations? I'm gonna drop the mic and let you guys either shoot me a chat or unmute yourself. I think you can unmute yourself and ask me. This is a rare opportunity for you guys to ask Uncle Knolly anything. You know how many people would pay big money to ask me? Just kidding. All right, Sabu. Hey, who's this?
This is Sam Silver from Valencia, California.
Sam Silver. Welcome, buddy.
Sam Silver.
Love it, man.
Hey, I had a tough morning this morning. I just found out that one of my past clients listed with another agent. And I've been in communication with this person. I sent Happy Father's Day, Happy Mother's Day. I've stopped by the house. I've dropped gifts. And for me, it's really hard to let that go. It just happened today. I tell you, I was 10 shades of red. And I don't like to feel that way. And I felt like I really tried hard to keep in contact. And unfortunately, it didn't happen.
Mm-hmm. Do you know why they went with the other agent?
No, I don't.
How'd you find out?
I found out because I was friends with them on Facebook. And my wife had noticed it.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things that I know I have to let it go. What I did was I actually decided that I don't need the negativity, so I unfriended them and stopped following them and figured, let it go. And whatever they did, they did. I did what I could to connect, to keep in contact, but unfortunately, apparently, they ran into another realtor that did the same thing I did.
Well, and here's the thing, Sam. That used to be a big problem for me, and especially when I would see them in my own neighborhood. I've got one right down the street right now from me, and they just listed with someone else, right? Thankfully, he's a good agent because I know the guy. Most of these guys are not good agents because you know him. You can look at the sign like, ooh, I don't wish that on you. But I remember distinctly one time I was having one of those, I call it a pity party. Like I was upset, man, you didn't list with me. I'm the hottest thing in town. Not that you're saying that, but I'm saying that's how I was coming up. And I distinctly remember hearing the voice from God really saying, Knolly, you think you're my only child? I'm like, what do you mean? It's like, I got other mouths to feed, There's other realtors out there that need deals too. Now, here's the thing. until you know exactly why they did it, which they may never tell you, okay? If you ask, sometimes it would be, if you really want to know, you probably should ask them. Because honestly, Sam, sometimes what will happen is another agent just got into their inner circle. You could be doing everything right, but another agent got into their inner circle, meaning that goes to their church, and they have them over every week, or they started hanging out with this person, and they just, it may have been hard for them to make the decision, but they have a new, or so it could be that, or it could be that the other agent promised them something that they didn't think you would deliver. For example, a cut commission, because I knew with my value proposition, I know with your value proposition that you bring to the table. Anybody that's watched your news story knows the kind of value proposition that you bring. They might have said, look, the only way I can compete with this guy is to do it for 1%. I mean, you don't know what that is. But even if they did, if they would have given you because even if a client would come to me and say, look, this guy offered me at 1%, and I'd say, well, that's really 4%, right? So what do you mean? Well, you're going to pay the buyer 3, you're going to pay him 1, that's 4%. And by the way, that firm, I happen to know that they average getting about 96% or 95% of list price. I average 98% of list price. So even though you're going with him thinking that you're saving 2%, you're really going to actually pay 2% more than if you listed with me at my full commission. Does that make sense? And we just do the math together. Now, if they don't give you the opportunity to do that, you really can't assume like what it is. You either find out what it is, or like you say, let it go. And because here's the thing, if you allow the negativity to stay with you, that's going to cost you 2 or 3 more deals.
Yeah, I believe in the law of attraction, and so I'm working on it.
It's hard.
I'm working on it today.
You're being real, man. Hey, this is the thing I like about letting go. By Dr. Hawkins here. What he teaches is you stay with the emotion. See, what most people do when they run across an emotion is they touch and run. So they start feeling bad. They're like, oh, I don't want to feel bad. I don't want to feel bad. And they start, But what he says is, man, get pissed, get upset, curse if you need to, do whatever you got to do, and let that emotion run out. Because emotion exhausts itself, and then move on to. Now there is a point though, Sam, that you get to where it just doesn't matter, man. You've got so much abundance that. Now it could feel like a betrayal, but it has nothing to do with you. You know that already. It has everything to do with them, not you. So
I even sent out 4th of July cards to them.
Yeah. Now, were you calling? Were you calling them?
Yeah, I stopped by their house. I've talked to them. They're law enforcement, so it was really hard to connect that way. Yeah. But I felt I really, on my side, I really connected with, we talk about contacts, talk about touching them and making the contacts. So I feel like I have made the contacts, and I have, they even called me one day when they were looking at another area. They were thinking about moving. So I said, okay, well, let me make sure I keep connecting with them so that when they're ready, because those are signs. So I kept sending postcards. I think there was one of the holidays, I actually sent them an edible arrangement to their house. Wow. And they called and thanked me for it. So it's like, it's like a punch in the gut when something like that happens, and you've been there for them, and you help them with their house. I helped them buy that house.
Yeah, you just
punch in the gut.
Yeah, it is, and that's call it like it is. That's exactly what it is. But just realize on the back end of that, you're gonna if you handle it correctly, because the universe has lessons to teach us, and if we handle these things correctly,
Yes.
then on the back side of it is a big deal. There's something big's coming. When you start to have adversity or challenges like that or things, and it doesn't happen very often. That's why it's a punch in the gut. When it starts to happen regular, then you're like, wait a minute, what's going on here? But when you know it doesn't happen often and it shouldn't have happened, then, you know, everyone is watching you to see how you're going to handle the situations. Put it that way.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking in the physical realm. You know what I mean?
understand.
Yeah. So thanks for sharing that, though. We appreciate it. And by the way, all the masters are free to chime in if you guys have. We all are helping each other. Okay, so Lucas needs help with a code listing, and I happen to know a little of the backstory on this one. He reduced it from 385 to 374.5. Now adding the Samsung stove, range, microwave. That Lucas is. We would love to help you on individual deals. This is what, and Patty Lynn will remember this from our short sale days. We'd be like, you can ask me any question except if it's deal related. Because the deal related questions could take an hour, to be honest with you. There's so many different things at play when you're dealing with an unmotivated seller and what it might take to get them motivated to look at reality. With the listing that Lucas is talking about, he's got it listed. He had it listed for 385. They agreed to go down to 375. They haven't wanted to go any lower than that, but they probably should have gone a little bit lower because it just hasn't sold. And there's got to be something funky going on with the property because they're getting showings, but they're not getting the offers that are commensurate with what the other properties look like they should be worth. So there's just so many variables with that, Lucas. I hate to put you off, but we can definitely do a one-on-one on that. But you have to, that's when, guys, when you have a deal-related situation like that, you've got to lay all the cards on the table, and then we have to really do a deep dive and really look at it. Sometimes it's an easy fix, but honestly, a lot of times you have to comb through MLS. If you're not, let me just give you guys a general rule. If you're getting a lot of showings, okay, but you're not getting on your listing, you're getting a lot of showings, but you're just not getting any offers, then you know that you've got an issue with the property or the price, okay, or both. There's something funky about that property because when people see it online, they're going out to look at it, thinking that it might be something, but maybe it's near a train tracks or it's near some heavy electrical wire, or maybe it's on a street with a bunch of crazy neighbors, or there's something that's weird. That maybe the layout is funky. There's something about the house that's turning people off. If you're not getting a lot of showings, okay, then you know right away that you know it's either an undesirable area or it's a price for. I mean, everything goes back to price, guys. At the end of the day, it all goes back to price. I mean, we could say price, condition, location, and there's like 4 variables, but price is the ultimate equalizer of it all. Sabu says he had a friend to ask her to show her what the house would look like staged to sell, just to see on Facebook the next day that she listed with another agency. Wow. Wow. Huh. She said she did not want to mix business with friendship. Yeah, that's one I don't quite get. I've done a lot of work with a lot of my friends. Some of you guys, to be honest with you, some of you guys have personal issues you need to work on. And, you know, Uncle Knolly's always going to tell you the truth because I want you to succeed. You know, if I'm just sitting here telling you what you want to hear, anybody can do that. But some of you guys, you know, if you're one of those that says, hey, I'm going to do this year, I'm going to do 50 deals. And then next time I talk to you, you're going to do 30 deals. And the next time I talk to you, you're going to do 10 deals this year. You're constantly changing your goals. Then you probably got some issues that need to be worked on, seriously. And we're not above helping you work on those. Those are what we call blocks, guys. And if you have a block, if you're not successful, you're projecting non-success everywhere you go, okay? If you're not hitting the numbers that you know you should be hitting in this business, when you sit down with people, they're not going to want to list with you. Why should they? You're not successful. And people, you yourself, I'm not talking to you, Sabu, I'm just talking in general. The person themselves doesn't feel that they are successful, and they project that. It's like we constantly send out a radio signal. See, when I go out on a listing appointment, when many of you guys go out on a listing appointment, you're projecting confidence. So why wouldn't they want to list with you? So there's something, it's either them, or it could be that you need to tighten up your game, and there's some ways that you can do that. Okay, so let me see. Annette, you have a question. Go ahead. Unmute yourself. Let's get to it.
Hey.
Oh, by the way, guys, since we're just having our fun time, that's the official end of our Mentorship Masters call. I'm just going to hang out with you guys like after class. I'm trying to give you a couple of nuggets that you can hold on to in these calls without getting you overwhelmed, and I think I've done that today. So, you're more than welcome to head out to recess if you need to. And those that want to stay after class just to have Uncle Knolly help with any questions you have, I'm more than happy to do that. So go ahead.
Okay. My question is, I have 2 buyers, and I'm getting ready to send out some mailers to prospect potential sellers to see if anybody wants to sell a property that would suit my buyers. And when I get responses back that people are thinking about selling their home, do I go to them as a listing and take that listing and then present it to my buyer and do like that? Or
so say that again. Say that last part again. For some reason your screen. Oh, am I seeing? Can you guys see what I'm seeing? And what's showing on your screen right now?
Well, I see everybody up at the top, and then there's like a YouTube video that popped up.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how that got there. Hold on, let me. I'm trying to get you back here. I tell you this. Stop. Yeah. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Now I don't see you. Okay, there we go. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that.
My question is, when I get responses back from my emails or my letters that I'm mailing out, from potential people that say, yes, I'm thinking about selling my house that may fit your buyer. Do I go over there with a listing contract and take that listing?
Yeah. That's a great strategy, by the way. And a lot of times what will happen is when the potential seller receives the letter, they might think it's just a ploy, right? Because people are seasoned, not as much as we think, but some people have been around the block.
Right.
But you actually have this is the real deal. And this is another thing that I teach in circle prospecting is if you have a house that goes under contract, why not go to 100 houses or 30 houses or 20 houses around that house and say, hey, this one just went under contract. We got 2 offers on it. And I've got people that want to, we had multiple people that want to move in this neighborhood. Do you know anybody that's thinking about selling? It's an indirect way. And I would even weave that into your letter. Do you, or is there anyone else that you know of that would be interested in possibly selling? By the way, if you ever, just as a side note in that, if you ever want to talk to someone and ask them a direct question without offending them, you ask them in an indirect way. So you'll say something like, I used to say things like, hey, do you know anybody facing foreclosure? Instead of asking them if they're facing foreclosure. Does that make sense?
Gotcha. Uh-huh.
Yeah. So then what I would do is once you get somebody that's interested, make sure that you draw up the listing documents assumptively. I used to never teach this, but I lost a listing one time when the guy agreed to list with me. I went on another, I had 3 listing appointments that day, and he said he didn't want to list. There's no way he was going to list, period. Didn't want to list. And so I didn't draw up a listing agreement. So I told him, I said, okay, I met with him and his wife. They loved everything I had to say. They were ready to list. It was like, well, what do we sign? And this was before, electronic signatures and stuff. And so I was like, okay, I've got another listing appointment, but then I'll go back to my office, draw up the paperwork, and then I'll be back. Well, by the time I got back to him that afternoon, he had already listed with someone else. He didn't tell me he had another listing appointment after me. right? So you always want to have your paperwork. From that point on, anytime somebody says, come look at my house, I've got a listing paperwork ready. I don't show them the listing paperwork. I just have it with me. So yeah, and then just offer them a free valuation. Say, hey, I'm going to do a free valuation. It's what I teach in my Successful Listings book. And then you go out with the intention of just doing a valuation or whatever on their house. But if it turns into more than that, you're ready. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Cool. Thank you. Oh, and can we see those books again, the 3 books?
Yeah. Yeah. So there's The Power of Your Subconscious. Make sure you guys are reading this. The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Dr. Joseph Murphy. That's super important. These are on Audible also. If you don't like to read the written word, I've got some clients that are dyslexic, and that's a hard word to say. Dyslexic. Hard for me to say, I should say. You know, when I was a child, I had speech problems. I couldn't speak properly, and I still have a little bit of issues. And imagine now I'm a public speaker. It's the weirdest thing in the world.
Sound great to us, Knolly.
Huh?
You sound great to us.
Oh, thank you. The Secret to Permanent Prosperity. That's another one, Mike Hernacki. And now we're on to Letting Go. The Pathway of Surrender. This would be a good one for Sam. Hey, we can, you know, it's hard to laugh at these things when they happen. Oh man, you fit to bite a brick when things like this happen. But later on, you look back on it and you're like, man, I remember when this client did this and I unfriended them. And it becomes, it's like this song that I keep hearing when I go work out at the gym. 100 bad days makes 100 good stories. 100 good stories makes me interesting at parties. Have y'all heard that? 100 bad days makes 100 good stories. 100 good stories makes me interesting at parties. So that puts a new spin on having a bad day. All right, so
Knolly, can I say something?
Yeah,
here?
you bet. Awesome. Always.
So a lot of my agents that I trained in the Panhandle, sometimes they would call just so upset because something was going wrong in the deal, and it was their friend, and they went to church with them. And you know, that's the one thing is, you know, no one is your friend when it's your business. You have to make money, you have to treat people right. But you can't go into it thinking, well, they're my friend, so I know that they'll choose me, because they may not, you know. But this isn't a hobby. You're not in real estate because it's a hobby. You're in it to make money, to pay your bills, and to set yourself up for the future. And so I always tell people, no, they're not your friend. Clearly they're not, because they didn't choose you, and you are expecting that they would. So you have to go in with low expectations. Just do what you do, and the listing may not work out for that other agent that they chose, and they may come back to you. And I have made the mistake of unfriending people. Now I was
going to talk on that, but I'll let you talk on that.
Yeah. You know, the thing is, you don't have to follow them. They don't really see that you unfollow, but they will see that you unfriended them. And so then you have to go through the drama. When they go, why did you unfriend me? You have to go through the drama and say, you know, well, because this, and I thought you were thinking that, and on and on. And then, you know, I end up saying, oh, I must have gotten hacked. I mean, easier to ask forgiveness, right? But anyway, you just have to keep in mind, this is your business. You know, and that's one thing when people say, well, you should get into real estate because you're good with people. That's the wrong mindset. You're going into it to earn a living, and a very good living at this point in time where this country is economically. So just keep that in mind, that no one is your friend. Even parents sign with someone else because they may not have confidence in their child who is a realtor, you know. So just make sure that that's not your mindset. Your mindset is, I've got to give good customer service, I've got to take care of people, I've got to stay in touch with people, pick up the phone, and just keep working your database, and you'll be fine. That's all I wanted to say. Is it's not a friendship-based business. It's a business, and there are people in it who are your friends, but that's not your main mindset. That's all.
Thank you. That's a good word, Patty Lynn. Really, really good stuff.
Can I add something to that, Knolly?
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I haven't had that problem because I don't have that many friends, but I have got deals from people who had realtors that in the family, or that they had realtors that were friends, and the reason that they, because I asked them, you know, why, and then they don't want their family or friends knowing their business, and some of it might be their financial records, or maybe they have a bad credit, or they're nervous about their friends knowing their business, because then their friends are friends with all their other friends, and so that may be a privacy issue.
That's a good point.
Very good point. Yeah. You know, and this just comes back to it that you just really don't know. It's so hard to speculate, if you will, why someone, and honestly, when you find out why they did what they did, it may make more sense to you, or it may not. It may make less sense to you. So good stuff, guys. Appreciate it. Great. Sabu had mentioned, yeah, you have to let go of it immediately. There's more out there, and that's something that you get to. It's easier said than done. It's a state that you get to when you realize that abundance always exists. Here's the thing: when you realize that you don't have to be on the hustle and grind, that actually success can become easy, that it can become almost what would be deemed effortless. Doesn't mean you don't put in effort and you do the right things to get the right results, but you can actually have success much easier than you thought. You know, when you have the recipe for gold, okay, when you have the recipe for gold, you don't really have to worry about how much money you have in your pocket, because you have the recipe for gold. You just go make more gold, right? And the reason why that I teach you guys how to generate leads, which, by the way, shamefully, I never taught my team for how to lead generate. I was the rainmaker, and I was so proud of that title. I'm the rainmaker. Well, now I don't consider myself the rainmaker. I want you guys to learn how to make it rain. And the reason I do that is because the one that has the leads is what? The one that has the leads is king, okay? And I don't want to be king, okay? I just want to be at the same level as each of you guys are, okay? And even though I'm the leader, you know, I'm the one that God chose to lead, I want you guys to know how to do everything I do, okay? To maybe even a better perfection. See, I used to think, and this was a lack mentality, that if I teach you everything that I know, then you won't need me anymore. That's like when you think in that way, when you have a lack mindset, that's the way you think. And I thought that way for years. And that's the reason why I never taught my team how to generate leads. I taught them everything else. But what I want you guys to know is how to generate leads to where you don't need anybody. You don't need to go pay for leads from anybody. And once you've done that, guys, you've got the golden keys. You can create your own destiny or path, if you will. Okay, so let me see if there's any other questions. Yeah. Speedy was also mentioned. They probably offered a lower commission. You never know. Sabu, we might have to have you teach on this one day, Sabu, because Sabu is, not only is he a professional home stager, he says that staged homes sell 8 to 15% faster and go up to 6% more in price. So, but Sabu actually teaches and does staging of homes, and he just got certified as in the law of attraction. So he's a certified law of attraction coach. So maybe he would be a good resource for some of you guys that are looking to attract more. Okay, yeah, David Speedy says no showings equals price. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, Sabu, that's interesting. Sabu mentioned he's going to see his friend on Saturday. By the way, Sabu, since I've got you here, hopefully you're still on the call. I read your memoirs while I was on the plane. Finally got a chance to read your memoirs while I was on the plane coming back from Costa Rica. My gosh, man. I mean, you got the hand of God on you, buddy. I mean, that is some of the most amazing reading that I've had, honestly. I mean, it is just, you shouldn't be here, brother. And so hats off to you, man, for making it. You got to share that with more of us, man. That is just an amazing. I don't know, Patty Lynn, if you've seen his memoirs, but they are just, it was just breathtaking. It's just incredible. And when you see a person that comes into this realm, I know many of you don't know what I'm talking about, but Sabu has had just the most, he was in the hospital for years. He was told he could never walk again. He was in a wheelchair as a child. And he told the doctor, he says, "You're wrong. I've got to dance. I've got to dance." And then he became a dance instructor for more than a decade, after he was told he'd never walk again. Just an incredible story. I mean, to me, it sounds like it should be made into a movie. But whenever you see a soul, a being that comes in this realm and has that kind of a life, a childhood, they're destined for greatness. So that person could either go one way or the other. They can go either to mediocrity, which is what I tend to try to wander toward as often. And that's called apathy. Okay, that person can live in apathy, or they can go on to greatness. Okay, and those are the two roads. That's going to be a big challenge for you, Sabu. Okay, so see if there's any. I don't think there's any other questions. Yeah, Sabu, you are a great inspiration to all of us, buddy. Keep it up. If there's no other questions, I'm going to go ahead and call this. I know we're already over the hour. I love each and every one of you. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. This is being recorded. I'm going to go ahead and post it into our group, and we're going to go ahead and post it into our new membership site. I want each of you guys to check it out. Love you. Have a great week, great weekend. And until we'll do another one of these. Well, it's 4th of July next week, so we'll see. We'll do another one of these real soon. Love you. Thanks for the input, guys.
Take care. Thanks, Knolly.